Alrighty. Fantastic. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of SmudTalk, where we just pick a random topic that we might be interested in talking about and just go at it. It's not necessarily a video, but there is video in it. And we just share. So thanks for joining us.
Aloha. How's life?
Dunn. How's it going in your neck of the woods? What's up?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I just published War of the Dragons last week, and I'm happy that publishing season is now over, and I'm now up to 11 books published in total.
Holy crap, that's amazing. I know you were on a rant there for about 3 months just pumping out the books there, but 11.
Nice. A lot of books.
Well, it's like I have a total of 11. I published 5 in the last 5 months.
There we go. Okay, that makes more sense. Still, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I try.
And that is during your school year or whatever work you've been doing for school, plus the stuff you do in the evenings. I know you also do podcasting here and there. So you're very efficient, sir. It's very nice to hear.
Yeah, my word count goal is usually like between like 1,000 and 2,000 words a day, just to make sure that like I'm keeping up my productivity.
Fantastic. That's like an exercise routine, but for words. Fantastic. I'd like to hear that.
A word size.
A word size. Yeah. Well, whether he's writing a blog or doing a chapter of a book is, it's still a discipline. Whether you're a journalist or a writer, it's the same idea. So. Good stuff. Good to hear. Okay, let's get going here. This is from the website vocal.media. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of the .media suffix, so I don't know if that's a popular thing. Usually people, when they make websites, it's .com or .region, so never .something else. I think that was only specific to like porn or like shop. I think I've seen that on Wix pages, wix.shop. So yeah, don't know about the media, but essentially it's a blog site for all kinds of posts from journalists. I don't know if these are actual journalists or they're just people who have access to the website, but we're going to be talking about Star Wars again. And I was expecting Dunn, so thanks Dunn for popping in. Shiny, this is your area. So I'm going to be reading, and you can just go ahead and ramble on whenever you guys feel like it. In defense of Luke Skywalker in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So this is from 3 years ago by Jonathan Sim. Okay, let's all be reasonable here. Let's see what he has to say. Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi.
Maybe it should be Jonathan Simp. Maybe it should be Jonathan Simp.
It did cross my mind, but that was 3 years ago. Simp wasn't a thing. I don't think, was it? No.
It's kind of entered the cultural lexicon now.
Yeah.
Nowadays, probably like two years ago, I think like maybe Brie Larson invented it. Maybe.
Ooh,
that's like there were a lot of people coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, geez.
Maybe people came out of the woodwork to defend Brie Larson and say like, after she said, "A Wrinkle in Time isn't that bad. Shut up."
Okay,
it's like, it's like.
Yeah,
that's a weird movie.
Let's tell people what is good because I said so and then swear at them. That's not a very good argument there. Not going to change minds that way. Anyway, Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi means some people liked him, some people hated him, and some people just hate the entire movie. Yes, those are all true statements. I mean, without a doubt, this is the most mixed, controversial Star Wars movie among fans that I've ever seen. For good reason. There's lots of strange reasoning behind the direction.
I wouldn't say it's the most.
Whoa!
It's proven.
It's alive.
Proven. Shiny's a clanker. Kill him.
Kill him. Kill Shiny. Holy crap! That's amazing. Let's try Hong Kong. Hong Kong, guys. Okay, we're connected to Hong Kong. Nope, he's still... Holy crap. We've switched servers and Shiny is still a machine. That's amazing. Shiny, can you hear me, sir? Holy crap. Please, Shiny, reconnect.
Bunker.
Wow. Well, I've never heard that before. He sounded like a machine gun.
Yeah, it did.
Holy crap. Yeah, Shiny.exe has stopped working. Shiny.
Shinesters, you okay?
You okay there, man? Shiny?
Shiny.
You alive, sir?
Shine.
Wow. I think we have to go
Shiny.
without him. That was amazing.
That was amazing.
Oh,
you're
there
back.
he is. He is. Hey, you okay? You sounded like a clanker.
I was installing NVIDIA drivers in the background, and I think it wasn't very happy with it. Or what actually happened to my voice?
Oh,
You sounded like a machine gun.
imagine you were saying the first part of your sentence from like a minute ago, and it repeated the first inflection of the first letter you uttered, and it really, really quickly, like really, like every millisecond was.
I'll have to go quickly watch the stream and see what happened.
Oh God, it was amazing, like truly, like wow. Anyway,
It's like a WTF moment. A real WTF moment.
I just had a look at what was I saying?
It's just,
Suck.
it was wordless. It was a wordless, just.
Yeah, don't try and mess with your drivers on stream. So I think I was commenting on the mixed part of the thing because outside's actually the most hated, not the most mixed.
well, that's I think what he means by mixed.
It is mixed. Just
Well, no, because mix is implying that people love it and hate it, whereas it's very much skewed towards the people who don't like it.
I think that there are a lot of people who like the movie.
There are people that like the film, but I think it's more leaning towards people who don't like it than like it.
Well, like there are people like Just Right. There's people.
I'm not saying there aren't people that like it. I think that it's...
and also, it's like each YouTuber that we cover is indicative of an audience of a certain size that likes the movie. Admittedly, like outrage is easier to monetize on YouTube. That's true. I think like it is divisive because there's still like debates going on whether it's good or not. Like Rise of Skywalker is not divisive because most people agree that it's bad. Even like critical consensus is like it's a 56, which is not a high
But the critical
score
consensus,
for any.
but the consensus,
Yeah.
the general consensus
Yeah.
for Last Jedi is still that it's pretty shit.
The fans think it's shit. The actual
Message coming in.
professionals, if you want to call them that, they pretty much like it, which you can argue from a basic observational level. Say, okay, look at episode 8 and episode 9 and go, okay, 8 is more coherent. It looks better. It makes a little bit more sense. Therefore, it's a better film. And I could say that too, if on a surface level. When you start thinking about it, you go, this does not make any sense, whereas 9 is just a mess. Like you're comparing a train wreck to a train that is a wreck that is moving along the tracks. So
Yeah.
it's still a mess in both cases, different types. Anyway, I agree that I think it's a mixed reaction because we have such a jump between critic and observers, or rather just the casual people who aren't critics, who don't get paid to do it. So
There are people like Movie Bob's audience, School of Movies audience, Just Right's audience, Patrick Willems' audience, a lot of people, and like at the Goldman's audience. Everybody, like, it seems as though like a lot of it comes down to I had a positive experience with this movie. However, I'm not quite thinking of the logic behind it. I'm thinking more along the lines of, I had a good reaction. I'm trying to justify it with headcanon.
right.
It's the main problem.
All right. Here's a super chat from Cheddar. This is interesting because I know a little bit about this area. .com is an expensive domain name, so many businesses will go with something cheaper, media, biz, org, and so on. Yeah, but we're talking like dollars, like $2 more. Okay? And the reason why .com is so important is Google likes it for its SEO. So when it searches for something, it finds and looks for all the .coms. Because if you are a serious website, whatever you're trying to do, .com is the first thing it goes for. If you are in anything like .shop or .media, if you have content that is indicative of a large quantity of data, like video or imagery, it will rank that higher. So yes, the .com is slightly more expensive, but it really comes down to what's on the page. And on this page, we've got, I don't know, like a dozen images. We got 3 videos or so. So I don't know who reads this page, but someone obviously found it through Google and specific to this topic, of course. So yeah, they would have obviously done a lot better. They said vocal.com, but it's probably been taken. So they made their own. That's fine. So he's defending the film. Okay, fine. But mostly Luke's role in the film and the ending. All right, that's fine. There's our man Luke. First off, Luke is a mystery behind The Force Awakens. Luke is the mystery behind The Force Awakens. He's essentially a character that vanished after failing Han and Leia's son, Ben, who turned to the dark side. We find Luke on Ahch-To, where he is given a lightsaber reminds him of his depressing past. Yes, that's the ending of Episode 7. That's true. So, why are we shitting on Rian Johnson for what he did to Luke? As a screenwriter, there wasn't a lot of wiggle room after this moment. Okay.
There actually was.
Yeah, but everything which we don't like about what happened with Luke, him trying to kill his nephew for one, is something which was done by Ryan, not J.J. Abrams. He was no way... Even if J.J. did write that, he didn't have to stick to it, and I doubt that J.J. came up with that.
So, yeah, I don't think that J.J. would have done that to Luke. Like, much as I do not like J.J. Abrams, I don't think he would do that. Well, he doesn't go for shock value like Ryan does.
Ryan's about subverting expectations. JJ's about trying to jingle nostalgia keys in front of your face.
Well, that's one way of describing them, I guess. But we're talking about the scene that Rian Johnson wrote. So I don't know why he's taking this weird slant, because I would have argued at the end of Episode 7, that's where you can do anything. Luke is just there. And Rey is like, here you go. And then it ends. And you're like, oh, that's it. Okay. You can do so much with what happens after that. So I don't think there wasn't a lot of wiggle room. But he's referring to this scene where Luke actually grabs the lightsaber, has it in his hand, and he takes it. And he's like, there isn't that much wiggle room. You could write dialogue. You could have Luke get angry, get happy, get sad, get stoked. Pick a feeling, pick an idea, and you can write that. That's not hard. It depends what you're trying to do with the character here. So I don't like this limited, what? He couldn't have done anything else except throw it over his shoulder.
It's the same defense as what's given to J.J. Abrams a lot of the time. The idea that somehow J.J. his hands were tied and he couldn't possibly do anything else other than The Force Awakens.
Here's the argument.
Yeah, that's so...
Okay. There weren't...
I do have to say that like something fun that might be interesting to cover, or at least like to watch, is the best Jedi righted by fans by School of Movies.
Oh.
Basically what they think that it's kind of their straw man of art, like arguments against the film. It's really, really like hilariously awful.
Okay, so there weren't a lot of places you can go with Luke's character after The Force Awakens. Well, apparently Rian Johnson had a very good, easy time to do whatever the hell he wanted with Luke's character after The Force Awakens. So no, I think there's any way you could have gone. And Johnson gave us the inevitable. Oh, really? Okay.
Huh.
It was inevitable that Luke was on an island and secluded himself. All right. Luke tossed the lightsaber away in the first scene the same way he did in Return of the Jedi.
No. Different context. Very different context.
Yeah, those are two different scenes entirely. In Return of the Jedi, he is doing so because he's rejecting what the Emperor is telling him to do. He's like, no, I'm not going to hurt my dad or kill him after I just realized what a horrible thing I just did. And you can't control me. So it's a crazy thing to do, to throw your weapon away from this evil dude telling you to kill people. It's kind of heroic, actually. It's courageous in a sense. It's stupid, but it's courageous. Whereas TLJ Luke throwing away a lightsaber, we don't know what the hell's going on. We're like, whoa.
It's just a joke.
It's almost
just a joke.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe. It's just like, what was that about? Okay. It's been 30 years since the events of Return of the Jedi, and Luke is a changed man. That's true. He has exiled himself to Ahch-To to find the original Jedi Temple and spend his final days there. Yes, but why is the question? Why is he doing this? We now must talk about what happened to Luke that led to his exile and what led to his depressed, changed character in The Last Jedi. Yes, we should. Okay. Luke was training a new generation of Jedi, including Han and Leia's son. One night, Luke goes on to check in Ben and realizes that Snoke has corrupted him and brought him to the dark side, and Luke tried to kill him in his sleep. Right? Wrong. Why do people think that's what Luke did? That's what Kylo Ren thinks happened.
He considers doing it.
Yeah, he very much considered doing it, and he turned on his lightsaber.
So to us, that's trying to kill. If you have a gun in your hand and you cock the hammer, you are about
and you're aiming it.
You're about to kill someone with the gun or shoot someone with the gun. If you pull out a weapon and you turn it on or you pull it out of its sheath or whatever, you're going to use that thing. You might not, but you're about to. You're like a step away from using it. That's attempting to do something with the weapon, which would be to stop someone or kill someone or whatever. Now, it's possible Luke was just going to swing it around. I don't know, for some reason, or lop his arm off or something. I don't know, whatever he wanted to do. But yeah, it's kind of scary when someone pulls out a gun in the middle of public. It's like, oh shit.
Well, in the middle of the night, while you're sleeping, all of a sudden you wake up with someone having a gun.
Yeah. Only a Sith would do something like that, and Luke is a Jedi. Wait a second. Wait a sec. No, wait.
What?
I think a Jedi having foresight and knowledge of violence and whatever scenario they're in would go, hey, wait a sec. I sense evil. Let me pull up my weapon and protect myself. Which is what a Jedi might do. But in this case, Luke is actively, I don't know, what's the word? Preventative war. What's the terminology? We attack.
Preemptive strike.
Preemptive strikes. Yeah, it's like I see all the things happening or about to happen, so I'm going to preemptively stop it. That's what he's doing. Which I think was a big argument in, was that film or the book, Minority Report, where they have this team of psychics who can predict the future, and you accuse people before they commit crimes, which is illegal. You can't actually accuse someone of a crime they're not committing. But according to this law, they can, which is crazy, which I would argue is a dystopian story. So Luke literally has this power of foresight. He's like, oh my God, I have to stop it. And then he realizes, oh, this is crazy. I shouldn't do this. And he's standing there thinking to himself while Kylo turns around and goes, oh my God, I'm going to die. Which I would argue he's justified in doing. So his argument is only a Sith would do this, not a Jedi.
No. I would say that's, if Luke was a character like Tywin Lannister, where it's like Tywin Lannister believes fully in ends justify the means mentality. Luke does not believe that the ends justify the means. He's a means justifying the ends type of character. We need to see the shift.
What's the means justifying the ends?
It's like the means. Well, basically, like
the ends don't justify the means, but then what's the means don't justify the or that do justify the ends?
Meaning, like if you are doing something good to achieve something, then
okay, it's a weird way of wording it, but yeah, I think Luke is a very much an optimistic character. He's not, especially since he was someone who risked his life to save his father, who was a million times worse than Kylo, and a million times more likely to kill him.
Honestly, I think that Kylo is actually more psychopathic than Vader.
I don't know. Vader killed kids.
Vader.
So did Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren killed like his schoolmates, so he's basically a school shooter.
No, you're not in canon anyway. The space lightning came down.
That's in a book that doesn't have any bearing on canon. The whole thing is crazy broken.
The comics are considered canon.
They don't affect the
Pablo Hidalgo, who's heavily he's the big guy in what was it, the Star Wars Story Group, has defended that book, saying it's canon because that in itself is retroactively trying to say, oh well, Kylo Ren wasn't that bad. He's the victim here. He walks out and space lightning came, and then he cried to Snoke, who was weird and creepy.
Pablo Hidalgo is an idiot.
Yes, he is.
All right, we know that's
what I'm getting from.
We know that that's not what happened because Luke tells us the truth, and when you actually truly understand what Luke was doing, it makes sense and it's true to his character. Okay, how is Luke pulling out his lightsaber, being scared of a potential future where his nephew apparently destroys all the things he's loved, which I don't know what exactly that means. Like, you imagine if I have the ability to, I don't know, look at the Shiny's mind when he's sleeping, and I see he's destroying all my favorite restaurants, he's killing all my loved ones, he's kicking the dog, he's doing all these horrible things. Like, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of effort on Shiny's behalf that he has to do to achieve that horrible vision. I wouldn't just go, I got to stop this from happening. I'd be like, okay, this is going to take a while. I better talk to him in the morning, because I don't think he can accomplish all that by himself whenever I see him next. Like, it's not going to occur very quickly. So Luke would have gone, that's a weird Force vision, like all the other Force visions I've had throughout my entire life. Let me think about that for a few seconds. No. Let me pull out my weapon and end it right now, which does not seem like something a master Jedi would ever do or ever contemplate.
There are some weird arguments that basically, like, he interpreted it as like he had to be the big hero and snuff out the evil rather than talk to his nephew.
Right, and he knows,
into the Jedi. Factually wrong.
Right, and he knew of Snoke somehow. We don't know how, but somehow influencing Kylo. We don't know how they met. We don't know if this is one of Snoke's weird projection bullshit again, where Snoke can just influence people star systems away or whatever the hell Snoke does these days. It's like, okay.
We don't even know what the training. We don't even know what the training was.
What was?
There wasn't a training.
Yeah. What did Luke give Kylo? What did Snoke give? We don't know the relationship. So all of a sudden, we're just led to believe, because Luke knows of Snoke's existence, that somehow poisoned Kylo's heart, therefore, I have to pull up my lightsaber. How about, I don't know, force pushing him and waking him up, getting angry, because he could feel thoughts. Maybe Kylo's just having a nightmare. I don't know. Something must be going on there. This is why the lack of context for that scene and our context of Luke as a character from the previous films does not jive. And this is why we call him Jake. There's something going on. All right. Luke saw the darkness in Ben, And wait, Luke saw the darkness in Ben, and he saw it. What? Let me read that one more time. Luke saw the darkness in Ben, comma, and he saw it. I swear he's repeating himself. It's like the water was blue, and he saw it was blue. It's like, what?
It's something I've come across with a lot of articles, especially CBR articles, ones which are kind of just almost like they're auto-generated and then just pushed out. They'll often have grammatical errors, missing punctuation, sentences which don't make any sense. Like I think there was one where it says "is" and he doesn't. Oh, like is, although something isn't, doesn't, or something like that. It's just a bunch of words. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Or sometimes it'll start a sentence and end a sentence, and it doesn't make any sense at all.
Maybe
almost like it's generated by an AI.
Maybe I'm being overly sensitive, but you don't have to have a tautology in one sentence. It doesn't help matters, guys. It's not an argument, okay? Another young, promising Jedi who had become corrupted by the dark side of the Force, and he remembered his father and what happened to him as a result. And you're like, okay, did that happen in the film? I don't think so. I don't think he was looking at Kylo and going, "Oh, you're reminding me of my dad," because we know exactly what Luke was saying or going through his mind, because he told us. So he wasn't going, "Oh my God, this reminds me of my father, Darth Vader," and you're like, "Okay."
Who he turned to the light.
Who he saved. Mm-hmm. And even if he was thinking that way, oh yeah, I saved that guy. Huh. What a weird take. He probably saw his father, and then he wanted to kill his father as his cousin. Like, what? No, it's dumb.
The more arguments I see for this choice, I just mostly like, why are you trying to justify a choice that was just made for shock value? Yeah. Because I don't believe that there's any other reason other than shock value for this. It's not
other
like
than subverting expectations.
Subverting expectation is essentially shock value. It's not graphic shock value like something like Eli Roth or most of like the other stuff that happens in Game of Thrones, but it's you. That's all that subverting expectations in this context is. It's just shock the audience in some way.
It makes you think of a plot twist that ends up being another revelation or reality, and you're like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Please explain." And there's no explanation. It's just that's the way it is. You're like, "Oh, okay, that's Ryan. That's not how you do it. You're missing the context. You're missing the explanation why things didn't go the way they were supposed to go." So that's what pisses me. It's like a gotcha. Like you're led up the garden path and it's a nope. We're going the opposite direction now. It's like, why did we go this way? Why did you lead us this way? This is not a mystery. This is not someone's hiding something, and someone's trying to discover what, like a detective, like in any police procedural. And you're like, why are we going this way when we know the breadcrumbs are false? I don't get it. He saw a future in which his loved ones were gone and the Jedi Order he cared for was destroyed. Okay. That's interesting because his Jedi Order or whatever school he had ended up being destroyed. So did what Luke see become reality? I think so. He lost Han to Kylo. He lost a whole bunch of students. And that's great. It's like, okay, so the Force is telling Luke, yeah, this is what's going to happen. And it's relatively true. Like, it's not accurate. It's just true. So what does Luke do? He pulls out his lightsaber. That doesn't seem... Like, we're making the argument now that this is like a deterministic vision, which I don't think ever happened with the Jedi. They can sense feelings very well. Like, oh, I sense fear, I sense this, all these feelings very clearly, but not like the future. I'm trying to think of an example of that. It only comes to was it the Clone Wars scene where they're all in the room together and they're all holding each other, and I guess they're combining their focus to see the
Yeah,
future.
the Cad Bane moment.
Oh, Cad Bane when they're torturing him.
For Cad Bane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
It doesn't work. It just causes him a very extreme headache. So he's like, "Yeah, fine, I'll do it. Stop."
The last time,
because it's mentioned that it's very dangerous to force a strong mind with multiple people.
yeah,
But even then, it's just multiple people doing the same power on one person. It's not like it's like pushing an object with 4 people. It's not like the 4 people becoming one person to push it or becoming somehow interconnected.
the last time he saw this was on the Death Star many years ago when Darth Vader threatened to turn Leia to the dark side. And what did Luke do as a result? All right, so I've heard this argument before. You get him pissed off. You get Luke pissed off, and he reacts violently, right? And it's like, yes, when you are physically fighting someone, you are being violent, and you're threatening him and chiding them on. You're gonna get them more aroused, so they become even more violent. And then guess what happened after that? He won the fight. He didn't kill anyone, and he becomes peaceful again. Luke went into a state of blind rage and fear. Did he? He was angry. I don't think it was blind rage. I don't think he was afraid. He was angry at what Darth Vader was proposing. That's what caused him to ignite his lightsaber next to Ben. How do you know that? I don't understand this. He got scared, yes, which is strange, considering there's nothing to be scared of in a Force vision.
But why would he suddenly just go into blind rage? That's not exactly again. When does Luke go into blind rage at any point?
Well,
sometimes he acts rashly, but why he doesn't just suddenly go into blind rage?
I think there's a big difference between fighting your dad in this pinnacle scene where he's taunting you, and you sneaking up on for whatever reason, why he snuck up on Kylo in his hut bed, whatever it was, and started reading his mind, and then causing him to go into fear and panic mode. I mean, that would be like, oh, wow, I just sensed a crazy thought. I'm going to go away now and contemplate that and talk to Ben in the morning. That would have been a little more practical, I think. I can't see Luke going into a blind rage or reacting in fear so violently to a non-threat, to a vision. It's like having a bad dream. Oh, I'm awakened from my dream. Let me pull out my gun. Oh, wait, I'm crazy. Let me put the gun back. All right. But as Luke explicitly said, he realized what he did, was immediately ashamed of himself. Yes, he did that. And then his entire character changed for 30 years. He didn't do anything about it. He just, whoops. And even, this is a comment by Mark Hamill. He says he would try to correct the mistake if he made one. He would never give up. And at that point, he gave up. And it doesn't make any sense. So the act of lighting up his lightsaber does not seem believable. And the act of doing nothing after causing Kylo to react the way he did was also unbelievable. All right. He was ashamed because he didn't feel like he learned from what he did on the Death Star. Wait, what? Where's this from? This is not in the movie, okay? This doesn't happen. He wasn't ashamed because he didn't feel like he learned from what he did on the Death Star. He just was ashamed. He just said he was ashamed. That's it. There's no other reason. But before Luke could put his lightsaber away, Ben woke, grabbed his own lightsaber in self-defense. I'm going to have to say no. I think Ben actually swung the lightsaber at Luke while Luke was saying, Ben,
and
no.
No, but what happened is that Ben activated his lightsaber, then tried to attack Luke, who had his lightsaber, and then Luke swung down at Ben, and then Ben closed the entire cabin down on them both. He somehow got out of it, totally unscathed, and Luke got knocked out for some reason.
Message coming in.
I can't seem to recall the exact scene. Does Luke swing down? Or does Kylo swing?
Yeah, he did swing down. I can pull up the original scene, but I couldn't swear that Luke is swinging.
Kylo swing.
That like he brings his lightsaber to meet Kylo's when Kylo is swinging at him.
As he senses yours,
Okay, I'm watching it now.
and he feared it.
Oh, this is Kylo's flashback.
Yeah. The analogy that I've heard said about this scene is basically like Draco Malfoy running into the Gryffindor common room and yelling, "Dumbledore tried to kill me," and half of the Gryffindor common room saying, "We're with you, Draco."
Okay, so that was Kylo's retelling. See if I can find, where is it? Nah, don't worry about it. It's not a big
I
deal.
really found it on YouTube. Okay, so just waiting on the moment to check. And no, wait.
Okay.
What? I can't tell if this is what this is supposed to be, because all of a sudden it just switches and it seems like it's actually from another vision where it's got evil Luke, but it's the last one. And I'll send you the video because it's got all three perspectives in it.
Oh, okay.
That's the one, the video I'm looking at.
Let me just load that up. See if I can get that on the screen. Okay, there's Kylo's.
Oh, it's all three visions combined. I see. It's all of them. Fuck's sake. That's what was confusing me, because all of a sudden it just went to dark vision. All three. That's combined again. Fuck it. Yeah, should I go to the film? Should I waste that time?
Seen it in moments during it,
There it is. I got it.
Okay.
and I was left with shame and with consequence.
No, Kylo attacked. Let's watch it again.
Yeah.
He attacks first, but then Luke brings his saber down to meet his.
Yeah, he just blocks it, but Kylo's the one who attacks.
What?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's kind of it's basically like the equivalent of a stupid misunderstanding or lie revealed trope in a really bad, it's kind of one of the worst, like most annoying tropes ever. It's really, I just don't like that moment, because it's usually just like, it's going to be fixed in a few minutes. It's just going to be swept under the water on the bridge. Doesn't matter at all.
Tyler Preston, do therapists do not exist in Star Wars? I don't know. Not to Luke, who's so in tune with his
the
feelings.
Jedi should. Jedi should have. Original Jedi should have had therapists, if only to deal with the fact that probably a lot of those aliens are probably having sex withdrawals, or at least like they're going through like their stage of puberty and saying like, "Please let me have sex."
Well, if you're a monk and you're in control of your emotions, you would imagine an entire school where he's the teacher would have good control of his emotions. I mean, it'd be kind of hypocritical if he was teaching these kids the wrong things.
Well, the thing is, we don't know if he's training them to be monks. We assume that, but we don't know. He, like in the original, like Legends, he'd let them have families and get married, and it actually worked out fine.
Oh dear.
But then again, none of this is in the film, so we don't know. We can't assume anything.
Yeah, like Luke got married and had 3 kids in the original books, which is Just like, and one of them was named
Much
Ben
better.
Skywalker. One of them was named Ben Skywalker.
Okay,
That's because after Obi-Wan, it doesn't make sense why Ben is named after Obi-Wan when Leia and Han didn't really know Obi-Wan very well.
So just in this video, we see Kylo attack Luke, and Luke defends himself. And it's fine that Kylo is scared and reacts with an attack, but that's the reality.
It doesn't make sense why Luke is activating his lightsaber in the first place.
Right. So even if he did do it out of fear, he did not attack Kylo. That's the point. Okay. Even if he cocked his gun, he didn't actually point it and start firing. Anyway. So before Luke could put the lightsaber away, Ben woke, grabbed his own in self-defense, and knocked out Luke. Right. So he does the lightsaber block, and then he does the force push. Boom. So there we go. By the time Luke wakes up, he sees what Ben has done. Right. So this, oh my God, I totally screwed up here. I should go find my cousin and help fix this. That'd be the Jedi thing to do. The sacrificial thing to do, to get to swallow your pride or whatever the hell you were going through in your stupid force vision nighttime sneak up on your cousin.
At this point, with this context, what we know, Luke wakes up, oh fuck moment, Kylo Ren's on the loose. What do? Do you A, go find Han Solo and Leia, or B, hide somewhere, never come out again, and go somewhere where you want to die while somehow leaving a map behind for someone to find you?
Yeah.
Ben had killed his Jedi. Well, we don't know exactly what happened, but that's the implication. And swore his allegiance to Snoke. Luke knew that he caused this. Sure. And that's what made him go into exile.
Message coming in. Patching it
Wait
through.
a second. So, because of a misunderstanding, Kylo goes nuts, who murders everything he was working for. You'd think he'd want to, fix this problem. Like, oh, Kylo, you just killed a whole bunch of people. I got to bring you to justice regardless. I did not try and kill you. But the fact that you flip out and murder everyone, that's still pretty bad. And Luke should feel extremely responsible right now. Like, I just caused an argument where everyone around me, my pupils, died. And I have to bring that guy to justice, who's my cousin. He's part of my family.
My nephew.
Yeah, you would feel extremely responsible. But instead of feeling responsible, he goes into exile. That doesn't make too much sense. I'm sorry. He made a grave mistake and he failed Ben. So correct the mistake. But he has learned from his mistake, really, and knows that he would never kill his nephew. What? Wait a second. How does that logically flow? Okay.
How does he learn from what mistake? Sure, it's a mistake that he would kill his nephew, or at least attempt to kill his nephew. But what does he learn then? I'm confused.
So whatever mistake that was he learned from, he now knows that he would never kill his nephew. And you're like, how does he know that? When does he know that?
He's not really given an opportunity to say, oh, well, I learned a very important lesson.
It never happens. He never tells us that. Nor does he ever say, I would never kill my nephew.
We get a failure the greatest teacher is, but that's dumb.
And I don't get why people are so mad that Luke was so cowardly exiling himself. Okay, because we understand, or we try to understand the scenario, and it doesn't make sense. Because Luke did not suddenly go, I am a great Jedi Master with students and family, to, oh my God, I caused my nephew to flip out and kill all my students. I'm so scared now, and embarrassed, I'm going to run away.
I'm just going to let myself die.
So the argument he's providing here was, guess what? Obi-Wan did the exact same thing. It's like, wait, what?
No, he didn't. He was there to protect Luke. He wasn't there running away from, everything. He was... The only reason he stayed on Tatooine was to make sure Luke was safe. So Luke was the future.
If we were to argue that Obi-Wan or Luke was doing the same thing that Obi-Wan was doing, Luke would be hunting down Kylo and sort of like from an arm's distance, sort of like, okay, looking out for him.
If Luke was doing what Obi-Wan was doing, he would be protecting, like, I don't know, the last of his students on another planet or something. Like, he'd be protecting something, and that's the reason for his exile.
Having another class or having another school. Yeah, something like that. That would make sense.
Mm-hmm. And also, Obi-Wan didn't do that because all of a sudden he broke his character. It's a contrivance to just all of a sudden change Luke's character to become someone else so you can have him hide on a planet somewhere else.
And provide all these breadcrumbs in the form of a map that's broken.
It still doesn't make any fucking sense.
Doesn't. Luke isolates himself. Have Luke have a son, whom Kylo kills out of jealousy, and Luke is struggling with hate for Kylo killing his own son. But why would he then run away? That would give him more motivation to hunt down Kylo.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that myself. I think
like
maybe because he doesn't want to hurt. That's a possibility of a fix, but I would assume that it's because he doesn't want to kill Kylo, or he doesn't want to let the hate consume him, maybe, and giving Cheddar the benefit of the doubt.
It's strange. That would complicate things, but we still don't understand Luke's motivation for his behavior.
Maybe protecting his son. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Luke's actions actually mirror Obi-Wan in a beautiful way. No, they don't. They're both Jedi who train young pupils, but they find out that their pupil has been corrupted by the dark side. And
Obi-Wan doesn't... Obi-Wan tries to turn Anakin back. He doesn't say, well, I'm going to kill you in your sleep. And he's really broken up about it as well. It's like, you're my brother, Anakin.
Yeah. At least Obi-Wan cared to face his essentially his pupil and fight him and try to help him, but he realized that was futile. And he thought he actually killed him, but he didn't do the job. He didn't have enough heart to do it.
He had no choice in the end,
Yeah.
because it was either him or Anakin or him, and he had to choose Anakin because Anakin was going batshit crazy. And it's like, don't try Anakin. I don't want to do this. And then Anakin made him do it.
So the master and the people fight. The people escapes, becomes an agent of evil, and they exile themselves. It's like the reason why Obi-Wan went to go elsewhere is because he thought that was dealt with, and now I have to go help that kid. That's a result of all this. And that's what he did. He had the best. I don't think it was the wisest choice, but that's his choice to look from afar and make sure Luke's okay, as opposed to looking after Leia, which was already taken care of. The two both train a new Jedi, Luke and Rey. Okay, first off, I don't think Obi-Wan trained Luke so much, just a little bit, but that was like happenstance.
A little, on the Falcon.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but it's still something. Rey doesn't get any training. I don't consider sitting and breathing training.
Therefore, it mirrors them because they don't have any training. Luke does have training.
It's like, can you feel stuff, Rey? Close your eyes and breathe and feel stuff. Okay, I could do that. Oh, wait, I'm breaking the ground beneath me. It's like, wait, how did that happen? I didn't teach you that. Let me run away and hide.
I've seen this raw power only once before.
I'm here to say this line so it sounds like cool in the trailer. It's like, okay, yeah, you say that, Luke. So you could scurry away.
It didn't scare me then.
So wait a second.
It does now.
He wasn't scared of Kylo before, But then, wait, if he wasn't scared of him, why did he go after him? Oh, dear.
Logic you do not make much of.
Yeah, Luke, you're not helping matters. And they both later die after a battle with their old pupil. No. Obi-Wan does, in fact... We're not exactly sure how Obi-Wan dies. I think he just sort of gives up to the Force, whatever that is called. He just gives up his physical form, and then Vader's like, what the hell? What was that? And Luke just sort of burns himself silly by tapping up into, I don't know. Yeah, whatever he did. I have no
He overdosed
overdosed
on
on.
It's
Force,
like, oh.
like in Wheel of Time.
May as well die.
Time to die.
For
Yeah.
seppuku.
Usually, when we look at Force, the Force users are struggling with focus, not with like juice, like the Force juice that causes you to use the Force, because the Force is everywhere. It's kind of like tapping into the universe. It's like it's always there, and you just need the willpower to move the bigger boulder or whatever. But you can't because you don't have enough training to focus and understand the boulder. Whereas Luke is like, yeah, I can project my thoughts and create physical matter and talk and have light and gravity affect my image hundreds of millions of light years away. You're like, oh, really? That's amazing. But I can only do it for 5 minutes and then I die. Like, wait, what? So yes, he did sacrifice himself for the people they love, I guess, in a very weird way. Just like Lucas said about the franchise, like, oh God. Yeah, I really don't think that's what Ryan was going for when he was being influenced by, what was it, episode 5?
It's a Frankenstein's monster of 4 and 5 and 6.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. If you even consider the plot points of episode 8 to be influenced by episode 4, 5, and 6. And if you're still somewhat not convinced that exile is something a Jedi does, remember Yoda, the best Jedi of all time? What does that have to do with anything? How does that connect to Yoda? So what if Jedi like being alone? He exiled himself to the Dagobah system, and his reason was way more lame than Obi-Wan and Luke's. Then why are you bringing it up if the reason's not the same?
What is Yoda going to do at this point?
He exiled himself because he fell down during a battle with Darth Sidious. Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. Episode 3 is kind of stupid.
I think it's more contrived because he has to... Like, there isn't exactly Yoda can do anything against, like, Sidious, or he can do anything against the Empire. So, but with Luke, there's a very clear target here, and that's Kylo. And by target, I mean it's something which is achievable. He can go out and do it. He needs to find it, and that's his responsibility.
It wasn't there that whole...
And Yoda just kind of going to Dagobah, while not as strong as maybe, I don't know, Obi-Wan Kenobi going to Tatooine to look after Luke. It's... I don't know...
Well, okay, we both
It's
know...
still not as nonsensical as Luke just saying, I may as well kill my nephew.
Yeah. No. The other factor is Order 66 is in effect, and they're all out to kill the Jedi. So Yoda's like, okay, I can't stop this guy right now. If I do anything, I'll get killed. I got to run away. And Obi-Wan's like, I'm also in exile. I have to run away, else I'll also die. So...
But again, Obi-Wan had a purpose. Like, he had a mission. He had something he had to do.
Yeah. So is Yoda a coward? He's trying to save his life, so you could argue he's fearful of his life. I wouldn't call him a coward. Is Yoda as much of a coward as Luke? No, I think Luke is more of a coward. Because Luke does not make sense.
Because Yoda didn't wrong anyone, really. Like, Luke very clearly wronged Kylo, and he can still save Kylo, whereas Luke just kind of like, there isn't really a good reason for him to go into exile.
Luke realized that he helped turn his nephew to the dark side. Okay. I would argue that's true, but we don't know why he did that. And this is why he exiled himself and has cut himself off from the Force. Because he was embarrassed? No, see that again. This is the same statement that Mark made about the character of Luke. He said a Jedi would never give up. He would try to correct the mistake.
This is also a bit of a whataboutism. It still doesn't fix the problem of Luke, even though the prequels have problems. And it's strange always having to go to the prequels to try and defend your shitty film.
Okay, plus he's saying, and what caused Luke to ignite his lightsaber, the dark side, which resided in Luke. Okay, so this I don't get. Luke got scared or saw the Force vision. He goes, oh my God, I can't let this happen. And then in a moment of instinct, which I thought he was in very good control of because that's what they teach you. And being a Jedi is control your instincts and listen to your feelings. He pulls out a weapon to be violent. That's the opposite of what Jedi Masters would do. They'd be like, oh, I know this feeling. I dealt with this 30 years ago. Which I learned my lesson after being forced to throw my lightsaber away to prove that I am a Jedi. I've grown past my urges. Oh yeah, plus I have 30 years of practice as a Jedi Master. But all that's thrown away. I'm an idiot. I forgot about all that. This is why we call him Jake. It's a totally different guy. The dark side of the Force isn't just a one-time thing that you can just overcome infinitely. I agree. That's why you train yourself, and someone who's really trained in it, like a master Jedi, would be very good at controlling it. Like their emotions. It's a constant tempting side that Jedi have to battle. Yes, but when you've done it for so long that you're so good at it, it's not that big a deal. But apparently, that one time, when Luke decided to creep up on his cousin, he just couldn't control himself. And he knows that Anakin and Ben turn the dark side, so he knows lots of people who turn to the dark side. What's your point? He's tired of the amount of Jedi turning to the dark side. And
all two.
And disgusted with himself? What? Wait a sec.
All two Jedi. All two of them. In all of the Jedi. He's tired of the two.
All right. Here's Lord Yin. Yoda failed to defeat Sidious because Yoda wasn't powerful enough to overwhelm Sidious' foresight, a trait Jedi and Sith share. Yeah, they have a problem understanding visions. Clearly. Because the visions aren't easy to understand. They don't know what they mean. It's even with Anakin, as strong as he was like, oh, what is going on? I see the death of my mom. I see the death of my wife. He doesn't know what to do. Thing is, that's a vision that's happening way into the future. Whereas Luke is like, oh my God, I see all this stuff happening. I got to stop it now. You're like, wait, why? Why don't you train your student how to be a good Jedi? What's wrong with that?
This article's so fucking dumb.
Because he's come to a realization through experience. Without the Jedi, there would be no Darth Vader and no Kylo Ren. You're like, wait. If there was no Jedi, there would be no Kylo Ren. He would just have been influenced by Snoke, and that'd be that. Darth Vader's another story. And to him, as long as there are more Jedi, there will be the more unrest and more Jedi turning to the dark side of the Force. That's a really dumb statement. That's like saying, you know what? Cops cause criminals to be criminal again. If only we had less cops, the criminals wouldn't be criminal. It's like, no, the criminals would be even more abundant. And there would be less people to stop criminals from doing bad things. Or you're arguing that some cops become criminals. And therefore, if you don't have cops, you won't have criminals anymore. That's silly. Wow. What a strange thing to say. Or rather, the possibility of corruption within the police force causes police to be criminals. It's like, yeah, that could happen. It does happen, but not all the time. Luke is the Last Jedi. Okay, as much as he doesn't like that title, apparently. And he has seen too much in his life. Oh, yeah.
What?
My life is so heavy, man. I blew up the Death Star. I saved my dad.
But you went really quiet there for a while.
Oh, yeah? Am I quiet still?
Well, I mean, like, you
No,
quiet as
you're-
in you didn't say anything for a while.
Oh.
I didn't know if it was me or not.
Okay, am I back? All right, fine. So Luke is the Last Jedi, and he has seen too much in his life. So he says, it's time for the Jedi to end. No, he's been on that island for 30 years. He just happens to be talking to Rey about his feelings. When you are saying to someone, I am here to die, and they happen to be there and having this conversation, that's usually a cry for help. They're usually looking for someone to listen to them. Now, it could be because he has no one to talk to, and he's just expressing himself, and he's like, whatever, I don't care. But he's still doing his day-to-day. If he was serious about killing himself, he would have done that. So something's going on. Something's not right with Luke, and he can't figure it out, or he just doesn't care because he's so distraught about not knowing what to do with his cousin. So I'm just like, this is really weak stuff. And Rey is not, smart enough to figure this out because she's just a girl. She's not a psychologist or what have you. But all she has to do is knock him out.
Desert planet girl.
Yeah,
She's a desert planet.
All she has to do is knock him out and bring her with him. That's it. And he could bitch and moan all he wants, but it's like, listen, kid, or Master Skywalker, I really don't care what your problem is. I'm doing what your sister wants. You want to talk to your sister? We're getting there soon, okay? Because that's the only thing that causes Luke to wake up, is that little recording from back in the day that R2-D2 bothers to show him, which is funny. Because all he has to do is like, why are you suddenly talking to me, Master Skywalker? It's like, oh yeah, the R2-D2 showed me a recording of my sister. It's like, oh really? That's what it takes? Ugh.
But
So
the weirdest thing is Rey even says Leia deserves to know to Luke, and that isn't enough.
yeah, it's strange. He loves his sister. He's so distraught. Go to her. What are you doing, sir? And this is a simple thing. This is like having regrets in life. This could have been a fantastic story if this is the way that Ryan wanted, for Luke to try and redeem himself in front of the person he loves the most, apparently. But he doesn't. He has to project himself. That was, I don't know, that scene where he's kissing Leia, I was like, what is going, like, okay, it's touching, but it's like, hey, Luke, where the hell have you been? What's going on? Like, it's just very strange that this is what's going on. And it's just a lack of drama. It's very empty. It's a very empty movie for me. Because, well, a lot of other reasons, but especially with Luke. Because he knows the dark side of the Force is just too tempting for many, including Rey. I don't know. I think Rey's pretty amazing. I think she could just conquer anything. It's like, dark side, light side, whatever. Rey can handle it. It's not what we were expecting, but that's good storytelling. Wait a second. Stop. Just because something is not what you're expecting does not make it good. Okay? I was not expecting The Rise of Skywalker to be whatever the hell it is. That does not make it good. To invent, what is it, light speed skipping or whatever the hell.
Knife. The knife.
The
Stupid knife.
Okay, that knife is... How do I properly express my hatred and absolute disdain for even the idea of that object? Imagine it wasn't a knife. Maybe it was just like a sextant or a compass or whatever. Pick one of those, whatever tools you use to find your way, like a map, like a compass. I'd still feel pissed off. Not as much, but still pretty pissed off.
The fact that it's a knife is just an added stab in the back.
The fact it's a knife, that killed her parents, that the shape of the knife is the outline of wreckage, and that the knife has a hidden protractor. It just, all these things come. You sit there like, that is the dumbest, stupid. Like it's not just dumb, it's like insultingly stupid. It's like insulting your audience while it's happening, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is totally fine. This makes perfect sense."
I like how the Goldman. Well, interesting enough, like the Goldman managed to find time to get on Anomaly Inc.'s chat. Inc.'s what is it? Stream after he got finished. Anomaly Inc. finished covering his Mary Sue video.
Oh, really? We should go talk to Anomaly Inc. then.
Yeah.
I'll go say hello right now. After we finish this. Okay. At the end, Luke projects his image to fight Kylo Ren and distract him, and the First Order so the Resistance can escape, just like Obi-Wan did many years ago. Okay, yeah, reasonably, somewhat similar. I'll give him that. But Luke has learned from his mistake. No, he hasn't. When did he learn from his mistake? When? When did that happen? There was no scene.
Well, he kind of dies, so he doesn't get to learn anything.
All that happens is Yoda pops up out of nowhere for no reason, bops Luke on the head, and then Luke is suddenly transported to Crate. He didn't learn anything. What did he learn? Tell us what he learned. All he says is, "I failed you, Ben." It's like, okay, yeah, you're right. You did fail him. But we know you failed him. You told us that. What lesson did he learn there? He still hates the Jedi. He still doesn't like the Sith, but... And he knows he would never kill Kylo. Okay, he sticks with non-violence during the lightsaber battle. There is no violence. It's the facade of a fight. There is nothing he can do. He can interact with the physical world in some small capacity, but there's no possibility of violence. He can kiss his sister's forehead and make a bunch of dice. That's all. There's no other evidence of him being able to actually create energy or weapons and use it to he can't make a lightsaber out of thin air. He can make dice out of thin air for some dumb reason. Using the force for knowledge and defense, never for... Oh, shut up. I hate when they quote Yoda and it means all this bullshit. This is why Luke never collides lightsabers with Kylo during the final scene. Yeah, because if he did that, Kylo would figure it out. Oh, this is all fake. He knows better after what he did years ago, but no. If he does that, Kylo will figure it out. He wouldn't do that. But he tells Kylo this, which is my favorite line from the movie. Really, this is your favorite line. The rebellion is born today. The war is just beginning, and I will not be the last Jedi. That's the best line in the film. I barely remember that line.
I would not pick that line.
No, there's like two or three climaxes in the whole film, and this is not one of them. Jeez. This goes to show that Luke had forgotten who he was, and he had forgotten his significance. And okay, yes, you're right. He did forget all that crap. But in this film, Rey helped him find it. What? Rey? What did Rey do? How did Rey help Luke find what it meant to be a Jedi? When did that happen? The only thing Rey did caused Luke to run over and go burn the books, which he was about to do, and then for some reason Yoda stopped him so Yoda could burn the books to mind fuck with Luke for some dumb reason. Like, why? Like, why would you do that? And even then, Luke was hesitant. He's like, oh, I can't do it. And then he gets pissed off at Yoda for doing that. It just doesn't make sense. It's a dumb scene.
No, it doesn't.
Luke's
The
about to
movie
do
is
it.
dumb.
Yoda stops him from doing it. Then Yoda does it. Then Luke gets pissed off for Yoda doing it. It's like, what is happening in this film? What did Rey do? Aside from beat his ass. And she should have kept beating his ass, knocked him unconscious, and dragged him along. You can still go after Kylo, but just keep him in the Millennium Falcon and have Chewie and R2-D2 take after him. So yeah, we brought you with us, you lazy old man. Come on, go talk to your sister. Luke could now believe in both himself and the Jedi. Really? Okay, I didn't know that. I had no idea that's all Luke needed. Too bad Yoda couldn't do that 30 years ago. As soon as he lost all his students. That'd be great. That would be a perfect scene. Right when Luke is holding on to R2-D2 and all of a sudden Master Yoda pops up. He's like, hey, you were trying to make a students here in this school of yours. He's like, yes, I was. And I ruined it. And then he could have said all the failures are your greatest teacher bullshit. That would have worked out just fine. Nope, has to happen 30 years later. Because why not? Luke puts away his lightsaber. Does he? I don't think he does.
I don't think he's using his lightsaber. He's using a torch.
And I think he's referring to the fight with Kylo.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Kind of at the end where he kind of just retracts it and just stands and lets Kylo slash through his hologram.
And allows Kylo to strike him down, revealing himself to the Force projection. He says, see you around, kid. Before vanishing, his true self remains on Octo, where he collapses from the mental toil needed to project such a lifelike image. Apparently, again, this is during while the dice still exist. So he made all these objects except himself, but the dice are still around, and he's completely exhausted, but the dice are still around for some reason. I guess the dice were really important for something. I don't know. Never understood that. He sits on the rock and gazes at the twin suns of Octo. Apparently they were twin suns. I remember going through the shots of the skyline, the horizon. There weren't twin suns. They remind him of his younger years on Tatooine, and just apparently they do. It's symbolic of what happened in Episode 4. And just then he joins his father and his former master, becoming one with the Force. Yada, yada, yada. And that's what I loved about this ending. It was great. It was smart and amazing. What? Why? Why was it great, smart, and amazing? But this doesn't mean that Luke is gone forever. Just because their loved ones die doesn't mean that they're gone. In fact, Mark Hamill has hinted as return in Episode 9. Okay, this is, again, 3-year-old blog post. So I'm pretty sure he's already said that this is not the last we'll see of Luke. See you around, kid. Luke. Yeah. Mark Hamill. Thank you. That was in February 2018. So even though Yoda died, it didn't stop him from burning down the original Jedi Temple in The Last Jedi. What? What? What does that have to do with it? What is Yoda dying
I
of
don't
it?
fucking know.
I don't understand, yeah. It didn't stop him from burning down the original Jedi Temple in The Last Jedi. But the whole point of Luke to burn the tree temple thing was to destroy the sacred Jedi texts, which end up on the Millennium Falcon anyway, because Rey stole them. Which I don't know why she did that. It's very strange, like things are happening behind the scenes that we don't get to see. Why that has anything to do with Yoda dying? What? I hope that you guys can take this with a more positive attitude and appreciate Luke's character. What aspect of Luke's character should I appreciate? Please tell me. The one where he's not heroic for 30 years? The one where he attempted to kill his cousin?
Nephew.
Okay.
Nephew.
The time when
I keep saying cousin. Like, wait, did Darth Vader have or Padme Amidala have siblings?
Is that the wrong terminology? I'm sorry, I have no idea.
Yes, nephew.
Nephew? All right. Because in the end, it did make sense. Oh my God. This dude thinks Rey influenced Luke to go help people on Crate. I don't get it. Where did that come from? I want to credit this awesome article for inspiring me to write this. Just check that out. And I know that was pretty long, but I just want as many Star Wars fans to be... I just want people to be happy, guys. I want you to like the film. It's like, it sucks. No, it's a great film. It's like, well... address why it sucks, maybe. Because people like you need to cheer up these days. What?
What?
I don't know. Okay, this is a blog post on Sci-Fi Wire. December 2018, Brian Young. How the Last Jedi got Luke Skywalker right. I'm not going to read this. This is silly. It's almost as long. Wait. Oh, he talks about Rashomon. That's cool. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. No comment section. All right.
We could always watch School of Movies, The Best Jedi Righted by Fans.
How long is it?
That one's pretty funny. It's like 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
Yeah. Let me see. I think it's about 7 minutes. It might be.
School of Movies.
Yeah, you covered them a while back. The podcast is even worse. They're.
Oh, yeah, you're right. SmudStream. What Star Wars The Last Jedi means? School of Movies. That was a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, 2020 US election, Avengers Assemble. It's kind of amazing. Okay. Oh wow, so School of Movies, The Best Jedi Rated by Fans, it's about 8 minutes long.
Can I get a link? I can't find it.
Let me get it.
There's so many YouTube clips on. Oh, there's Major Lee. The Last Jedi is amazing, and you're all insane. Yeah.
Let me share it in the
Oh, just right.
Smudcast. Oh, I sent it.
Thanks. Okay. 8 minutes. Let's go for it. Why not? Okay.
Luke Skywalker, I have your lightsaber.
I'm your father.
Really? Yes.
Together?
Well, that was a bit of an anticlimax.
Oh, you want to watch it on Watch Together? Let's do that. Sure. Do.
Easier.
All right, let's do it. One sec. Da-dee-da-da-da-da-da. All right, there we go. Okay. Who else is coming in?
I mean,
All right. Anytime you're ready, Dunn, just say the word.
Ready? I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Yay. What?
Luke Skywalker, I have your lightsaber. I'm your father. Really? Yes. Well, that was a bit of an anticlimax. I mean, it's just the same as... It's not an anticlimax. It makes perfect sense. Shut up, woman, and make me some daughter snacks.
what?
Okay? We've got the first quarter on our tail. What are we gonna do? Well, for starters, put you in charge, hotshot. Good idea, woman. Now make me some Poe snacks. I'll be in the space kitchen making everyone space ants on a space log. We have to scramble Rogue One group to fight their TIE fighters in space. We're with you, Poe. Also, no jokes. This is a Star Wars, goddammit. Your Jedi training begins now.
This feels like the
Start
biggest
by
straw man
lifting those
ever.
Rocks, okay? Now show me your
It
saber
is.
skills. How's this? You seem really well practiced. Well, I mean, I spent most of my life as a scavenger on a desert planet. This meant I had to get good at climbing and learning the inner workings of starships, which has been a huge help. I had to fight to survive.
How does that
which
help
means
you with a
getting pretty good
lightsaber?
with this quarter stuff, and I found that translates pretty well into saber skills.
How?
Kylo Ren. I mean,
Wow.
he was wounded and emotionally shattered and trying not to hurt me so he could get me on side. And yeah, I never really started using force powers until recently, but it feels reflexive. Like I grew up kind of loving the fragments of Star Wars stories I could find. So I knew about as much as you did. when
What? What kind of...
The fragments of Star Wars stories, where's that in the film?
Whoa. Is this like a meta commentary that we are Rey and therefore everything Rey knows we know? Or we know Rey knows?
It feels like a massive straw man, and of course the
Wow.
comments are
Yes.
turned off.
Yeah, the comments are turned off. Yeah.
No
He also
kidding.
Yeah, he used to like kind of. He's quite the character. Is Mr. Alex Shaw?
Da-da-da.
Hello.
Hey.
We're gonna continue.
There we go.
Smud,
There we go. Sorry about that.
Bud?
Yep.
Smud boy.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, he's back now. That's
Hello. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I was on the wrong window when I was watching that.
Message coming in.
You
Patching
were a
it through.
kid, and you picked it up pretty quickly. And I lived in the symbolic fallen husk of the Star Wars franchise, just waiting to get on
You
its
didn't
feet again. I had a
beat
doll of you.
fucking
That's creepy. So yes,
Vader
I am
first
fairly proud
fight.
of the skills I've developed. Not good enough. You're a Mary Sue. Do you even know what that means? I heard it a few years ago. A woman was talking about it. Great. Let me tell you about the Force. It's an energy field that surrounds and binds us, especially if you're born with super special blood. Okay, go on. That's
You
about it.
liar.
Now lift some more rocks, and don't you go confronting your shadow. So this is it. Just pretty much The Empire Strikes Back again. Yes. No. This time there's a surprise ending. Therefore it can't be a remake. Step aside, woman. I have to lift space rocks to train for my big fight. Why did you leave? Well, I can tell you. It definitely wasn't because I had any flaws. Well, that's all right then. I'm Rose. Pleased to meet you, Rose. I'll be over here, not taking part in this story. Care to join me?
Yes.
I'd be delighted
Thank
to go.
you.
Do you want to go to Canto Bight? Nah, doesn't seem like any part of that section might be important to the overall thesis of this movie. Plus, our
Yes.
plan might not work, and plans have to pay off. What about in Empire when they go to Cloud City? Shush, holographic tiny butthole eyes woman. Make me a Finwich. You got it.
What do you mean that doesn't pay off?
Yeah.
But there are consequences. They go to Cloud City. They get captured. Luke has to go save them.
Yeah. Here's the issue also, like they say that like it's that Canto Bight is important to the overall thesis of the movie, i.e. Star Wars is for everyone, which is so demonstrably asinine that I cannot believe that anybody put that in.
The thesis of the film is Star Wars is for everyone.
Apparently, let's back up. Like he has a split second like edit of a picture of of this.
No, let's not back up. Let's just keep going.
Keep going.
I said, show me my parents. Hello there. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm a Star Wars. I'm confused. I'm 19 years old, and you died like 34 years ago. I'm as puzzled as you are. How did it happen? You know that Immaculate Conception that spawned Anakin? The Force Homunculus, yes. Turns out it was just a Force ghost. Forced himself on Shmi, and then mind tricked it out of her head, just like motherfucking Superman. But who was my mother? Well, as you know, there was only one woman in the whole galaxy, and that's the way it should be. Leia. Leia is my mother. Bury your feelings deep. Hang on, that makes Kylo my half-brother. Yes, it does. Damn. Oh, not to worry. We Jedi are all about keeping Force-strong bloodlines pure. Ugh, pass. No, Rey,
Oh
wait.
my god.
The fans. Well, I suppose if he can stop being such a whiny little bitch mama's boy. Yes, that's the spirit. Princess Leia, watch out. Kylo Ren is attacking the bridge.
I'm totally pulling the trigger here. Wouldn't want to bitch out on killing my own mother.
Well, I guess I'll use the Force to stay alive. No way, Princess. Nobody ever saw you training, and the Force can't do that. Also, I just die in space. Fantastic. Thank you,
Yes.
gentlemen. That was a close
Yes,
one.
and then you
It
wouldn't
almost
have to
looked
bring
stupid.
her back
Thank
to
goodness
death
Admiral
for death
Akbar
in the
is
next
still
film.
alive. Rey, you need to go and confront Snoke. Seems about that time. Be sure to ask him who he really is. Oh, go on then. Who are you?
I'm really a clone of Luke. My real name is Luke.
Doesn't really tell me much about your character. I mean, you're nothing like him. You're more like Palpatine.
That's because I am really a clone of Sheev Palpatine.
So, basically, we're still doing all of this again.
No, because I'm really a clone of you, Rey. We're both
What?
clones of Palpatine.
So they're trying to take the
seeing
piss out of all the fan
resemblance.
That's
theories.
because I'm really...
Mace Windu. I don't know who that is.
Actually, I'm really...
Mr. Jar Jar Binks. Like the robot chicken sketch? You took that seriously?
No, because I'm really Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Again, no idea who that is.
Some
Makes
people do.
For
sense.
fuck's sake.
4 people in the audience, and to them that makes this film perfect.
But how can you be all of these people at once?
We all fell into a vat of midi-chlorians,
not using the M word.
and I emerged. The sum totality of over
My brain.
9,000 force points. And that means that everybody's fan theory was correct, and nobody's was. It's
This
a
hurts,
zero-sum
this is
game,
cringe.
child.
That's not how a zero-sum game works.
Silence! Make me a Snoke Witch.
Thank God you're still alive. Private Huldo, what are you doing? I was gonna ram our ship into the First Order fleet at hyperspeed. What have I told you about physics, woman? These things need to be explained by Scotty first.
Oh, sod off.
Base.
Of course,
Everything you've got.
No,
it will all
wait,
be
that's
fine
Luke
if they use
Skywalker
Scotty
out
to
there.
explain it.
Kill him.
What the?
It's going to be them playing Battlefront 2, or Battlefront. This isn't the second one, this is the first one. That's EA made. This isn't even them playing well, that's just him running around.
See how he battles Brienne of Tarth.
So skillful.
Who, luckily she didn't die. Just like our supreme leader, she still has a lot of backstory to fill out.
Now he's
No, she
fighting
doesn't.
Darth Maul.
How is that possible?
If you know your canon, it really does make perfect sense. You see, there was this one issue of one comic with a time hole.
But the First Order are throwing everything in our noble and very fine.
What is going
How
on?
can he still be winning?
He's a hero character, and that makes him stronger, tougher, and more better than everyone else.
Did he just force push a heavy assault walker over?
That's right. We win, bitches. Now I have to teach some men how to be Jedi.
Is it over now?
I don't know what any of this is. Oh boy. Wow, Strawman much, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, that was a yeah, it was, whoa.
Are we done yet? Can we end? Can we go?
Yeah, we can go. All right, guys. Thanks for whatever that was we were watching. Parody of other people's opinions. I don't know. Strange. Very strange.
Yeah.
It's the straw men.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, there's lots of people made of straw that keep making these arguments.
Yeah. Well, we do our best. Thanks for the suggestion there, Dunn. Hopefully, there's no other parody straw men. I don't know what you call those videos. What are they? Attempts at comedy. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate Shiny and Dunn popping in for this little SmudTalk. Always fun to go through some other arguments that we might have missed that were completely stupid. This one was, I give it 90% stupid. There's a little bit in there. It's like, hey, maybe he's got a little bit of a point. He just didn't actually apply it to the story. He just had his own headcanon in there. It's like, yeah, you're right. If that did happen that way, that could actually solve some problems. But unfortunately, he didn't actually pay attention. So, yes. Good night, everyone. We'll talk to you real soon. And get some sleep and rid yourself of this horrible, horrible memory. Okay.